If you're anything like me and maybe you thought meatloaf was boring, you need to try it the Greek way. So I learned that Greek yayas have many different recipes for Greek meatloaf, but this one in particular really got my attention, and I think it has to do with the grape leaves. But first, let's make our meatloaf mixture the Greek way. I'm using ground beef. You can use lamb if you like. And then it's all about the different flavors that are added to this. This one just has an extra special something about it just because of all the beautiful flavors and veggies that are so finely minced and added in here. We have some grape leaves from a jar. We're gonna start by blanching them right here. Even though they're tender and everything, I like to blanch them to just make sure that they cook well later when we stick them in the oven. And then meanwhile, I heated up my skillet because we're gonna cook up some of these finely minced veggies which are going to go in the meatloaf mixture. All you're doing with the leaves is you're just gonna dunk them in some boiling water for about 5 minutes or so. This really enhances the flavor as well. We're waiting for the oil to shimmer, then we're going in onion, carrots, garlic, celery, and red peppers. Notice how finely minced they all are. You can use a small food processor to do this. And you're just tossing them around. Nice big pinch of kosher salt. We're gonna cook this down for about 5 to 7 minutes, just until they soften and release some of their juices. And I'm gonna admit to you, I was never a meatloaf gal, never. So for me to make meatloaf is a big deal. This looks good. I'm gonna take these out and just place them on my plate right here because I need them to cool so I'm able to use them. Okay, this looks good. Veggies are tender. We can now mix the meatloaf mixture. All right, so now we have all of the elements required to make this meatloaf. Then we have the secret to making a very tender and juicy meatloaf. None of that stuff that's so dry is in this one piece of toast. So this is a toasted piece of bread that's been soaked in water. You can also soak it in milk. I just use water. Then you're gonna take this piece of bread, which is now fully tender, and just crumble it and make sure that you get rid of any of the juice. I know it's a little gross, but trust me, this is going to make your meatloaf so much more tender. We have those two elements. Then we're going in with the veggies. Yes, flavor party. I mean, I told you, if you thought that meatloaf was boring, I don't really even know if I know what is typical of meatloaf because I've always thought it was boring. But these veggies are making me want to eat it. I feel like it's gonna be so delicious. And a little bit of tomato paste. Tomato paste adds umami and color and richness to your meat. I know people will add ketchup on top of their meatloaf. We just do a little bit within the meat mixture to actually use the flavor to enhance the whole experience in every bite. All right, an egg, 1 egg or more, fresh mint. Even if we're talking about meatloaf, we're still gonna make a darn good meatloaf, people, right? Not just your average. That's not what you wanna do. I know you, you're a chefy chef. Salt and pepper, and a little bit of oregano, dried oregano here. Delish. And of course a drizzle of some good extra virgin olive oil. If this does not turn out to be the juiciest ever meatloaf you've ever made, I don't know what to tell you. All right, we're gonna mix this party together. Mix, mix, mix really well. You have a pair of disposable kitchen gloves. This would be a good opportunity to employ them. Your goal is to make sure that everything is well incorporated. You might still be wondering, what the heck are we gonna do with those grape leaves? We're gonna wrap. We're gonna wrap our meat mixture in the grape leaves and stick them in the oven, and it's gonna be a glorious moment when this thing comes out. And this is exactly why your veggies needed to be minced super small. So a food processor is your go-to for that. At this point, you might like to employ a piece of parchment paper or some foil. We're going to go ahead and grab the meat and form it into a loaf. People use a loaf pan, but that's not what we do here because we're actually going to wrap the meat, like I said, in the grape leaves. I feel like we're making it happen, guys. Like, no need to panic, but you could also use the paper to help you form it and transport it on top. Now you're wondering about the grape leaves. I will help you understand what we're gonna do here. You've got yourself a nice pan, sheet pan, any sheet pan you have that will fit your loaf will be fine. You're gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil on the bottom. Okay, now you're gonna take the grape leaves. I list the exact number of leaves you need and which grape leaf jar you need to grab, so don't you panic. And you want the leaf part out and the stem part in your pan. And I like to layer them, so like a couple at a time. We are now making a bed, so to speak, to cover the pan. Then we're gonna put our meat mixture in and we're gonna wrap the leaves. So now you can transport your meat. We're gonna just, and then if you like, you can make the meatloaf or mix the meat and form the loaf ahead of time. Put it in the fridge for a little bit. It makes it a lot easier to handle. I tell you why the grape leaves are so important. Yes, it looks good and it looks like a beautiful presentation, something extra special. You don't think of meatloaf looking this way, but they also help, you know, in the cooking process. They contain the meat, obviously, and they enhance the flavor. So wrap the top as well with some of these grape leaves. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, just, you know, make sure you cover all the meat. It'll contain the juices, and that keeps them super juicy. And no one likes a dry meatloaf. I'm just gonna tell you, not even my Aunt Gertrude. She would not like a dry meatloaf. I don't have an Aunt Gertrude. So we're gonna cover it, making sure that we're not touching the actual loaf. And we're going in the oven, 350 for a half hour. It's been half hour. I'm gonna take it out, uncover it, and stick it right back in the oven to finish cooking. We've got crispy grape leaves wrapping up our beautiful meatloaf. Once you cut it up, it's so special looking. You can see how juicy the meat is. I love this sort of idea with maybe a little bit of tzatziki sauce, which we have the recipe right here for you. Maybe even some Greek salad. How delicious looking though does this look right now? I know. Grape leaves are a symbol of hospitality. So when you wrap your meat for a loved one in grape leaves, you are making a statement. Guys, it's good. It's freaking good. I'm serious. Lots more amazing Greek recipes right here on the channel. If you want to serve this with tzatziki sauce and Greek salad, not a bad idea. Check those videos out next. Find the recipe for Greek meatloaf wrapped in grape leaves over on themediterraneandish.com. I will see you later. Ciao.